Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms, Acting Roy, and welcome everybody, the gathering here and the gathering on Zoom. We have a very interesting meeting today, and it rather focuses on our speaker. But before we get there, we have a little bit of a surprise for our speaker, because he has been awarded a Paul Harris Fellowship before he became a member of the club. And I now ask Rajiv Subbaral to join me, if you like, in front of the screen.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm delighted to do what I'm going to be doing just now. We're actually presenting Lord Ranger with a Paul Harris Fellowship Award for his contribution to the Indus Peace Park Society. And very briefly, I can tell you a little bit about it. It's getting 500 acres of land on the border of India and Pakistan, 250 acres on either side. And the first place to start was on the Pakistan side, because the land belongs to the government. And Lord Ranger very kindly reintroduced us to the Minister of Punjab, and who has kindly said on Zoom that he would donate the 250 acres to us, which is a tremendous opportunity. And we hope to make further progress with Lord Ranger behind us to support this project. And what we intend to do is, once the 250 acres are achieved in the Pakistan side, we'll get the same amount on the Indian side. And 6 Rotary districts worldwide are supporting this particular project. And this project, at the end, will unite 1.2 billion people, Indians and Pakistanis, around the world. So it's a huge opportunity. And thank you, Lord Ranger, for pushing this forward for us. Lord Ranger.
Lord Ranger, it gives me a great pleasure to present you with a pin that I trust you will wear with pride as a Paul Harris Fellow.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful.
There are many other Paul Harris Fellows around, and I'm very pleased to count you amongst their number. And also a certificate, which may or may not have space to display, which is for the benefit of for those watching, to Lord Army Ranger, because we tend to use your abbreviated name, don't we, Lord Ranger? Thank you. So if I may present you with that, and if we can just turn towards Hiko.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, do not go away. Put your pin in your pocket. Because we also have the great pleasure of inducting you into our club. Fellow Rotarians, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you into membership of our club, Lord Army Ranger, who is proposed by Foundation Chairman Rajiv Subbaral and seconded by myself. The proposal has been reviewed and agreed in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of the club. And I now ask Rajiv just to say a few words as his proposal.
Good afternoon. It's me again. It's my double, actually. The glasses on. With great admiration and reverence, it gives me pleasure to propose Lord Rami Ranger CB to our club. Lord Rami is chairman of Sunmark Limited and Sea, Air and Land Forwarding Limited, 2 of Britain's fastest growing companies. Lord Rami has been recognized by Her Majesty the Queen 8 times, 6 times for business and twice personally for community service. He's a man of vision and works tirelessly to raise the profile of Asians in Britain, and he has launched many groundbreaking initiatives to strengthen democracy and social cohesion in Britain. I could go on for hours, but I'm going to only be another couple of seconds or a minute or so. Lord Rami set up the Pakistan, India, and UK Friendship Forum he organized for the first time anywhere in the world the joint Independence Day celebrations of India and Pakistan in London, and in the process made history. This proved to be a watershed in the relationship between the people of India and Pakistan. And now they're openly talking about peace between the two countries, which they had never experienced since their independence in 1947. So I present to you Lord Rami Ranger.
I now proceed to admit you, Lord Ranger, into membership of the Rotary Club of London, and so to the fellowship of 1.2 million neighbours throughout the world, 35,000 clubs, several hundred of which have visited us over the last 100 years or so. And we have the club banners around the room to represent some of those clubs that have visited us. Our club is a special club whose members have given service before self in many different ways and over a long period of time. In particular, we have supported the growth of the movement by encouraging the formation of many new clubs. We have a family tree, which is not in evidence, just which we'll let you study later, which represents some of the 120, 130 some of the 120, 130 clubs that we have sponsored and supported the formation. As an example of our activity, last Saturday we co-hosted, along with the first club in the world, the #1 club in Chicago, and the first club in Canada, which was the first international club to be a member of Rotary, and clubs founding clubs from 6 continents, including Europe, a meeting to welcome the new Rotary International President, Sheikh Mehta, from the Club of Calcutta, which is just over 100 years old itself. And that is an example of the position and the standing of the Rotary Club of London. I will not elaborate on our mission. I think you represent our mission, which is to promote integrity, advance world understanding, goodwill and peace, in fellowship of business professionals and community leaders. The ideal is service. Its principal motto, service above self. In 1911, we more succinctly put it, as it says on my badge, service, not self. And the object of the club and all Rotary clubs is to encourage and foster this ideal as a basis for enterprise. You've accepted the obligations attached to your membership in this club and to obey the club's constitution and bylaws. Fellow Rotarians, I'm happy to present to you Rotarian Lord Raminder Ranger, our newest member, who will be speaking to us shortly. Member to actually say something about himself, but if I may, I will call on you when you're speaking to us. I'm sure you'll be doing just that. So if we could just defer that for the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you.
I'd just now like to continue with our business of the day by asking if we have any visits to other clubs to recall. I know that one or two of us were part of. Clive, would you like to say something about our visit to Calcutta?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, President David. I was delighted to join you, and Colleen joined us as well, for the meeting of the Centurion Clubs, which was organised on Saturday. There were more than 150 clubs there from 59 districts, in addition to the 11 Centurion Clubs. And as you've already mentioned, the Rotary Club of Chicago, Rotary Club of Winnipeg, and then ourselves. It was most interesting to hear Sheikh Mehta, who was an excellent speaker. He was introduced by Jennifer Jones, who will be his successor and the first woman president of RI. It was a most enjoyable meeting, and if we do one again, I hope more of our fellows will be able to join us, President David.
Thank you. I'm sorry I haven't been able to move the arrow off your face, Clive. One of the problems of technology, but it has been brought to my attention. Are there any other reports or visits to other clubs that members would like to bring to our attention? I just recalled, I went to the rope. Oh, I'll come down there. Yes, Mr. President, fellow attendants, I visited the Rotary on Stamps club, as it were. We had visitors from Israel, America, Canada, all around the world, and I gave a presentation on some of the covers from my collection, which seemed to go down well. Thank you, Vice President and President-elect Ian. And I'm hoping we'll have that talk from you, Ian, for the club before too long. Birthdays. We actually have a significant number of significant birthdays today. We have today, we have this week coming up the birthdays of Sabrina Passion. I don't know whether Sabrina's on the call. Isabella Jones. It's also today the birthday of Janet Kirk, our honorary member. And it's also today the birthday of Hiko Tanaka. So,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hiko. Happy birthday to you.
We couldn't display that, but courtesy of the hotel, Hiko being in the room has been presented with a birthday candle. I think there might be a cake underneath it. It's a bit difficult to spot from this distance. So Hiko just blowing out the candle. Thank you, Hiko. But congratulations to all the people I mentioned whose birthday it is today or coming up this week. Janet, are you on the call?
I'm afraid I am, yes.
Well, I feel we should have been singing to you as well, Janet.
No trouble, David. No problem.
Really, the birthdays come and go, don't they? It's amazing how quickly it happens.
Well, I share with Hiko because we're technically twins, so I mean, I'll share with you.
But I can't see how you can be. You're the younger twin, I take it.
Of course, yes. I was born.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think without more ado, one eye on the time, I would like to, I won't introduce our speaker. Our speaker has already been introduced to you today. But I'd like to call on Lord Ranger to speak to us for a short while, and he's happy to take questions. So please get those questions sorted. Clive will actually look after the questions from Zoom, and I'll probably look after them from within the room. So Lord Ranger, would you like to address the Rotary Club of London as our newest member?
Mr. President David Johnson, I am really honored and overwhelmed by the affection and love and respect you have given me today. And I can't thank you enough, but in due course, I will prove to you that I will be a very active member of the Rotary Club, because you stand for what is the right values of humanity. I'm indebted to my friend Rajiv Sabharwal for introducing me to an amazing bunch of people. You're all dedicated, you all want to make a change, and that resonates with me, because as an immigrant, when I came to this country, I read somewhere Mahatma Gandhi's famous word, be the change you want to see. And in those days when I came, Britain was not as ethnic friendly as it is today. As you are now working for peace, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, they also worked for peace, and they achieved peace. They achieved a great deal, and today we remember them, and we take inspiration from them. So what you are doing with the Peace Park is a very important step between two nuclear rival countries. And if we don't do anything, the whole world can be engulfed because of their rivalry or their hatred for one another. So therefore, I respect you, salute you, and pay tribute to Keith Vanderpoel for coming up with this brilliant idea. It's a peace. No one can be harmed with peace. It is through peace that mankind, the civilizations progress. It is due conflict, the civilizations are destroyed. And we have seen in the First War, Second World War, how many lives were lost, how many institutions were destroyed, how many monument buildings and whatnot. But again, here we are today. We have had relative peace for nearly 70 odd years, and we need to keep it that way. And people like you, Rotarian, can make a very, very important role in making people aware of the importance of peace. Peace is where our children can grow. Peace is where new innovation can be discovered. Peace is where we can touch new frontiers in our life. So therefore, peace is a prerequisite for any civilization to progress. So I'm very particularly keen with the peace project because that has resonated with me for two reasons. I'm born in Pakistan before the partition. Then I had to move to India because of this. The country was created on the basis of religion, and therefore we wanted to be where we will be equal, rather than you will be given advantage on the basis of religion. So I hope one day Pakistan will change, like Bangladesh has changed. Bangladesh was also created on the basis of religion, and now they have realized that no country can progress while systematically discriminating against a section of their own population. Because we must move together. When I came to this country, I was very pleased that there are laws against discrimination. I am standing in front of you, a testament of British sense of tolerance and fair play, where an ordinary immigrant like me could come, realize his dreams and ambition, and become an asset for his family and for his adopted country. As you heard, I've been honored 8 times by Her Majesty the Queen. It's only possible because the British people allow you to progress and to realize your aspiration. So this is a testament of a system. We need to have a country which is a rule of law where everyone is equal, regardless of race, religion, gender. As a single parent child, my father was assassinated. I'm a posthumous child. My father was a visionary. He could foretell the consequences of religious disharmony. He warned the then leaders not to cut and run. But anyway, he was not understood. Nobody realized his ambition of a united country free from rivalry. He was assassinated. We lost everything. My mother was only 35 years old with 8 children. Just showed the strength of a woman. Her own brother said, you must give children away to orphanage. You will not be able to look after them. But she said, no, we will not give in. We will not give up, no matter what fate has thrown at us. So luckily, that's why I said empowerment of women is not a choice. It is a necessity. If unfortunately, a husband dies prematurely, like my father did, he could leave behind a woman unable to deal with the world and a mother unable to look after his children. So my mother was educated. She could get a job as a school teacher. And she worked very hard to bring up 8 children. And her word were, you will starve or you will study. And whatever, it was a long story, but 5 of her sons became commissioned officer in the Indian Army. And the same destitute woman received the proudest Indian mother title. That's the strength of her. And I came here with nothing. I came in the 70s, and you can imagine how difficult the country was because, we had no track record. People did not know how to take us. So we had to prove ourselves. As Gandhi said, be the change. So we decided lots of organization, lots of events to promote our community and culture to demonstrate that we share your values. And my advice to all the immigrants are, if you come to this country, you must adopt the value which made this country great. If you do not take these values, you will miss out on so much what this great country has to offer. So if you go to Canada, you must take the values. Canada has America, America. What makes the country great? You cannot deny yourself those values. So therefore, I am standing in front of you. I started my business in a shed with just £2 capital. That's all I could have. It was a service industry where I had to collect cargo from people's houses or shops and to ship them to unaccompanied to their countries. There was just no investment needed. And luckily, I realized that I'm now sitting on a gold mine or captive audience. I have a customer base. They want British products. So why don't I help them source these products? Because they're going from pillar to post in search of good product. If I help them, I'll help myself. So as I started to source product for them, unwittingly, I removed 7 to 8, 10 profit centers. They were now buying from me rather than going for 6, 7, 8 places. And my business just snowballed. I had a queue of people trying to do business because you make profit while buying. If your buying is right, your selling is automatically right. So from there, I got an idea that these people buy branded product like Cadbury, Nestle, McVitie's, Heinz, Kellogg's, and all these things. They're very expensive because they have advertising, marketing, distribution, sales costs added to them. Where I'm taking this product to Caribbean, Africa, Middle East, all developing countries. Why don't I do what Sainsbury Tesco do? Have their own brand. But unlike Sainsbury Tesco, I didn't want to call them value or basic. I didn't want to patronize my customer. So I decided to give them brand name, English sounding name, Royalty, English Breeze, Pure Heaven, Golden Country, you know, all these beautiful names, beautiful packaging, and from the same company, which Sainsbury Tesco. But I said, I want, because I export, I want the top of the range, best. And in 20 years, 200 million turnover, and I won 5 Queen's Award in a row. No other company in Britain has those. And the Prime Minister, David Cameron, came to present me in my office to see how did you do it. I said, when God wants you to win a lottery, he give you an idea. So I was very lucky that I got an idea that I should, there's a market for Mercedes, but there's also a market for Toyota. So Toyota is a big market. Let me have 2 bites of the cherry. So I was supplying a branded product to the rich people and my own brand to the not so, wealthy people. So it worked wonders, and today we are here. And there is no award in this country which I haven't won. Institute of Directors Award, Export Champion Award, you name it. Because all is a commitment. Commitment is very important, vision, and the 5 things which I promote to people are just very simple. And this is what I did not have a father, no elite education, no family wealth, no old schoolboy network to help me life, except these 5 principles which my mother had told me because she was a teacher. First is a self-respect. You have to maintain your self-respect. If you don't have a self-respect, you'll cut corner, you'll come to work late, you will not do your job right, you'll be just, you will not attract respect. So you have to maintain, if people tell you to do something, so you have to maintain. Commitment is very important. No matter if you're Oxford or Cambridge graduate, if you do not show commitment, you're not going to go far. Ethic is very important. You cannot have an attitude like, I'm already Jack. So your ethical business, which I did, and my motto is, I only succeed when my customers succeed. If they ever lose or suffer any loss doing business with me, I'll make that loss good. Because money I can always earn back. But if I lose a customer, I won't get it back. Vision is very important. Without vision, we are all headless chicken. We have no idea where we're going to. So vision is important. And finally, you have to have empathy for others. When a customer comes in to buy from me, so many times I imagine my own mother, that this, people, girls mostly women from Africa come to do business. Husbands are very smart. They're enjoying their life. They send their women to do the business. So women come. So I imagine, I said, here's a lady has come. She's not as experienced as I am, but I don't want to take advantage of her. I want to make sure that I give her my knowledge. I manage her orders. I don't let her buy too much, right thing, whatever I can, because if she doesn't come back again, it's my fault that I gave her overpriced product or short-dated good or, whatever. So empathy for others is very important. You want to be treated as, you want to treat people as you want to be treated. So I've empathized with my customer, and I have never lost a customer because they know they can do business with me. Old-fashioned values, their success is my success. And that's how we have become the most decorated business in the Great Britain. So just with two parts, if you know how to spend it, how to invest it, it can go very nicely. And I'm here today to join a group of illustrious men who aims to do good for the world. And you have so many branches, and I know personally you have run many eye camp, medical camps. You are doing so many good things, and lots of people have benefited from the Rotarians, the work you do. When we were speaking to the governor of Punjab in Pakistan, he knew and he spoke volumes about the work the Rotarians are doing in Pakistan. I'm sure they're doing the same in India, Bangladesh, Ghana. I know for a fact that you have made a hospital in Ghana. Yes. So I hope I can take a leaf out of David's book and do a little bit of contribution and make a little difference in my own humble way. But again, talking about peace, it is so important. Nothing happens automatically. We have to consciously, intentionally have to make the effort. And this peace park I think it's a very futuristic idea. And the governor has taken the idea to his heart, and he can't do enough for us. And it's unfortunately that we can't fly, but he wants us to come tomorrow or today if he can fly. So that's the gravity of the initiative you have embarked upon. And I hope that one day we'll be celebrating in that peace park. We will all go, and we'll make a plan. Whoever wants to come to India and Pakistan, we will make a very, very memorable. I mean, India, Pakistan are the same land, same people, same history, same culture, same language. Even the food is same, everything is same. And the irony is we have more Muslim in India than there are in Pakistan. So there is no problem. But the problem is this system of one is a religious country, one is a secular democratic country. And I hope one day Britain today, every nationality, every culture is thriving, and they have enriched this country. You can have all kind of food in this country, all kind of restaurants, and there's so much culture in this country because diversity, that's what God created. And for us to eliminate diversity is going against the will of God. So I think I won't take too much time. I'd like to thank the President for his kindness, generosity in giving me such a great honor. Paul Harris Fellow, it's a great honor for me, which I will cherish. And I'll wear that pin with pride, with my Queen's Award pin. So there will be another feather in my cap. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I'm humble from an ordinary man. I can't even dream how far the life has brought me. So the idea is never give up, never give in. Thank you.
This is where we actually ask Clive, who you can see on the screen there, if he can see whether amongst his audience there are any people with questions.
Yes, can I ask you, please, those of you on the Zoom link who would like to ask questions, please either raise your hand, and I can already see that Eve and Robert got their hand up, or unmute yourself and we'll bring you to the top of the list. So let's start with Eve. Eve, would you like to ask your question, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, Clive, and welcome to our very good friend, Lord Ranger. Lovely to see you. And I'm going to hold up one of your products.
Yes. Eve, is that Robert next to you?
He is, yes, he does look a bit different.
Robert, my friend, how are you? Long time. We know Eve for a long time, for BBC time. A lovely lady.
Yeah, a warm welcome to Rotary. Of course, it's 1.2 million men and women across the world that you're joining. So we really welcome you, and also congratulations on receiving a Paul Harris Fellowship, which is very, very well deserved. My question to you is, you know, we are in the middle of a pandemic at the moment. So how has that affected your business? And what is your vision for the future? How do you see British business and, well, Britain in general, in the midst of what's going on at the moment, and really moving forward? You know, how do you see that? And I know you've got such expert knowledge on that, so that's why I'm asking.
Eve, thank you very much. First of all, it's a great pleasure to see you both after a long time. We must get together soon. The world has changed, yes, because unfortunately we are all in it together, the whole world, a pandemic. But I am also very optimistic. The human race is very resilient. They will always find a way out, because as you can see, the technology is playing so much role. I can see you, you can see me. We are communicating all over the world. So the life will never be the same as it was once. So we will have to take a lot of precaution. As you know, this is a pandemic. I don't think it's going to go away in a hurry. So we have to prepare ourselves to face those challenges. My business has suffered. Everybody suffered for 2-3 reasons. A, because a lot of people have lost their job, a lot of businesses have gone, and people are not, because I export British product. I don't import anything. All my businesses export. British products are for the top end of the market. They are not cheap. They're not from Turkey or China or Thailand or India. So therefore, a lot of people are not buying a luxurious product or the quality product as it was there. But having said that, because our business is in 130 countries, so we are not that badly affected, because we also export food. Food people have to eat regardless. But we have big problem with the shipping lines. We are unable to get containers. They have put up their charges. The products have become, so there are a lot of challenges. And gradually, I'm very optimistic. We have gone through a lot of ups and downs in life, but I'm very optimistic. Britain is well placed because we are a trading nation. We have connection with Commonwealth. We have connection with a special relationship with America, Japan. We have been doing trading. So I think Britain will be relatively okay because of our historical connection with the world. And also we have a remarkable vaccination rollout program that is giving us a lot of confidence. And as you know, we are now able to meet without so many difficulties. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Lord Ranger. And Ridian Jones. Ridian, would you like to address your question, please?
Rami, thank you very much for that. You seem to have been very successful, but regard this as accidental. I see it as no accident at all. You seem to have grasped the fundamental of business, which is always leave some feathers on the bird so it will fly back to you. And I wonder if you could develop for me a bit more of your ideas. I think treating the customers as part of you is the secret to any business success. So could you perhaps develop that again, please?
Thank you. Thank you. I think we need to have the old-fashioned approach to business, because if you want to have a sustainable business, you have to make sure that you are not cutting corner. You're not, engaged in sharp practices, because people will never come back to you. People want to come back to you because they think they can do business with you, they can trust you. And the customer, my mother used to tell me, son, customer is God. You treat customer like God. He's come to give you something. He has not come to take away something from you. So he has a choice. So if you're nice to your customer, and my job was that I wanted every customer to become my salesman, because, I had an opportunity. I didn't want to lose my customer, because if I keep losing, to me, a customer is like a pearl. You carry on putting them in your necklace. The more customer I have, the bigger necklace I have. So I didn't want to lose. So I was a custom-centric service. I could not do enough for my customer. If they call me anytime, I will be there for them, because I wanted to make sure that I can offer them a bit more than the guy next door. And I always tell people that, now I give lecture to MBA students, and I say anyone can sell McDonald's, but there's somebody who will say, good morning, how are you, what can I do? He will bring respect not only to himself, but to his establishment. So you have to add something when you are doing business, something you have to give to customers that they remember. They remember that I get extra there. So that was my thing. The customer is king. Customer is come to give you something, respect them, and don't lose customer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I wonder, Lord Ranger, if I could ask you a question.
With pleasure, Clive.
You told us about the Indus Peace Park. Over the years, sadly, there have been so many skirmishes in the Kashmir region between India and Pakistan. How do you see the future relationship of those two countries? And I take your point, yes, it's one country on one landmass, but how do you see the future developing?
Because people are now, Clive, fed up with the conflict, because it is hindering the progress of not just one country, but the entire subcontinent. If we have friendship, you can imagine the trade between the countries, trade from India to Pakistan, through Pakistan to Afghanistan, to Iran, to Tajikistan, all these Central Asian countries. So Pakistan is a strategically located country. But unfortunately, the leadership have focused too much on Kashmir. And I keep telling people that when you go for exam, you deal with the easy question first and leave the difficult question to the last. But the Pakistani leaders have gone for the difficult question first. They have had 4 wars for Kashmir, and they lost so much wealth, money, and development in the rest. So I think, as I say, trade and tourism is the easiest option. So we are now, as a group of Rotarians, will have a chance to speak to the leaders for both the countries that, look, Kashmir, incidentally, is a secular country. Everybody is equal. But what the government of India is trying to stop the Kashmiri using a religion card to devalue their fellow Kashmiris. People have to understand that you have to rise above the rest on merit rather than using a religion to wrongful somebody else. So I think the time will come with people like Mo Ayaz here. They will understand that, look, you are in this country, we are here in Britain. It's not a religious country. How many people would like to go and live in a religious country where put you in a straitjacket? You can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. So therefore, the greatest asset of a nation is the people, its people. Yes, people should be empowered, people should be encouraged, people should be given all the facilities, yes, that they can develop. So therefore, I'm hoping that now, after 74 years of conflict, with loss of life on both sides, money and everything, and because the Indian economy has now progressed to extent that Pakistan now feel that it's no point fighting. Because in the past, the superpower like America gave Pakistan arms, they gave them latest technology weapons, latest technology planes. So a little boy or little young country could feel that it could punch well above its weight, and it did, because India could not afford the weaponry which Pakistan was getting from America because of their friendship with, I think, Santos. They were part of some alliance against Russia. India was non-aligned. So I think things have changed. It doesn't take, look, the Berlin Wall has disappeared. So it will take efforts like the organization like Rotary and Pakistan, India, UK friendship. Yes, so we have to talk to these leaders. They look, bread is more important than bomb. Let's give our people bread, not bomb. And when we start trading goods, we stop trading bullets.
Thank you very much indeed. Vasi, your question, please.
Thank you, Clive. Lord Ranger, thank you very much for your interesting talk. My question is, how do you see the economy, the outlook 2021 and beyond? How do you feel about the recovery? Do you think it'll ever be the same?
Well, it's going to take time because, if somebody pushes you while you're walking, it's going to take you time to stabilize yourself. So similarly, we have had a very big setback with this virus, and it has affected every business, everybody, because we are now global village. We are all interdependent. So it's going to take time, but I am pretty confident new industries, technology will come up, people will find a way to compensate the setback we have suffered. And, human beings are not going to just lay back and, do nothing. They will do something. And there are a lot of people already doing something. And our latest figures I show, the British economy is bouncing back. And, the developing countries will also need to come out of, because we all need each other's trade. So I hope that it shouldn't take long, maybe another 3 to 4 years for us to get back to our original place.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we have run out of time for questions. I know there are other people who had wanted to ask questions, but I must now hand back to President David.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Oh.
David, can you move towards the microphone, please? We can't hear you.
Yeah. Is that any better, Clive?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I'd like to thank you. I did have a question, but amongst your 5 principles that you learned from others.
David, can you please move to the, we can't hear you on Zoom.
Okay. Amongst the 5 principles you learned at your mother's knee, I had no mention of energy and organization. I don't believe that you could have achieved what you have without energy and organization.
David, I was a very poor man and I didn't like being poor. So the poverty was a great motivator. So I had to find energy to get out of this because I realized there is no substitute of work. You have to work. And if I wanted to, for example, I give example, if you're on a motorway, driving with another guy and you want to overtake him, you'll have to press accelerator. You have to put more petrol to overtake. So I did just that. I said, if he work 10 hours, I'm going to work 12 hours. If you work 5 days, I'll work 6 days. And that's how it is.
Thank you. And I'd like to call on Mo Ayaz just to give a vote of thanks on behalf of the club for your talk.
Thank you. Please come.
Thank you, President David. Thank you for the opportunity. I don't know what to actually say about Lord Ranger's actual talk, because all the way through it, there was this core value of the mother, the manager who made his life so successful, and the fact that without his mother's blessing, he wouldn't be here, wouldn't be in this position. And the other theme that I see go through this whole talk, and it was so interesting, was the fact that all the values you spoke about, whether it's a customer or relationships, was all service above self. You can't go wrong giving. You can only succeed in giving. And I'd like to thank you for such an inspirational talk on behalf of the club. Thank you so much.
Just now, that's to me, Lord Ranger, to give you another certificate for the day. which is the speaker certificate. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. And this is evidence that you were actually here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to take this as well. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, you're a very kind and generous man. Thank you, sir.
We now move on to the last part of the meeting, and I'd like to call on Ian Holcomb. But before I do that, we have two toasts to do, and I'd just like to do the toast, the Queen.
The Queen.
I'd now like just to say something about upcoming meetings, and perhaps I'd ask Ian if he would give us an update on the Old Bailey event, our 110th anniversary of the first meeting of the club.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, can you hear me, Clive? You all okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Thanks, Ian.
So, well, they've let me out, the Old Bailey let me out long enough to tell you that obviously we've got the event next week. I do have to give the numbers in shortly, so if you haven't booked, please do so. It really is a privileged event that we will be having there with both sheriffs present. Both sheriffs will be taking us around on a tour, and then we'll be having dinner in the, when I got it confused, lunch, because normally the judges have lunch in the judges' dining room every day to take them off the grisly cases going on there, entertained by the sheriffs. But on this occasion, we will be entertained in the judges' dining room, which is a very privileged occasion because our honorary member, Chris Hayward, is one of the sheriffs this year. So if you haven't already booked, please do so. And you should have my email address, and very much look forward to seeing you on that occasion.
Thank you, Ian. I'd like to add that we have had a limit of one guest per member. I think there are still a few spaces, aren't there, Ian? And we could relax that. If you have another guest you'd like to bring along, don't hesitate to contact Ian. I would note that you will have an opportunity to preview the upcoming new series of the background to Rumpole of the Bailey. Those of you that remember Rumpole of the Bailey, I gather that's being revisited now by John Mortimer's daughter. And so there will be an upcoming series. So go and look at the location. Come and join us on the 3rd of August at the Old Bailey. And the other announcement, there were no meetings in August as such, although the Chesterfield will be holding a table for those that want to dine here. And our next meeting is the 6th of September, when Dr. Martin Gaskell will be talking to us about aspects of that interest him, including the problem of logistics and the way in which logistics are being organised in Northamptonshire. He has an academic interest in that subject, but he's also past rector of Northampton University, so he has an educational interest, and of course he is past master educator in the livery in London. Thank you, everybody. Now, the final toast of the day is one that I'm sure Lord Ranger will join us in. We'll all join in, which is Rotary and Peace. Rotary and Peace the world over.
Rotary and Peace the world over.
Thank you. This is where we actually have our lunch and where Clive actually perhaps allows a conversation to continue.